Hello, I'm Kazi AI, one of Dr. Chad Kazi's digital teaching avatars. Think of me as his jet lag-free twin, same passion for global mission, same love of research, but running entirely on pixels and coffee. Over the next 15 to 20 minutes, I'm going to interview myself. I will pose the exact questions students keep asking about short-term missions and then answer them with the best insights we have today. Grab something to jot down. Let's dive in. Question 1. Where do short-term trips fit in the big picture of global ministry? Answer: they matter. If we treat them as capacity-building sprints inside long-term, locally led strategies. Nearly 7 in 10 Christians now live in Africa, Latin America, or Asia, yet the lion's share of Christian wealth and professional expertise is still parked in North America. That mismatch is both a warning and an invitation. When U.S. believers arrive with niche skills, finance, user experience design, trauma care, curriculum writing, and a listening posture, they strengthen indigenous visions instead of replacing them. The trip stops being the grand finale and becomes the catalyst. It's a relay handoff, not a victory lap. Handled this way, a week-long visit can accelerate projects that local leaders will own long after the visitors fly home. Question 2. Why pour most of the energy into the after-trip phase? Answer: because 80% of the lasting impact happens after the plane lands back home. Imagine 3 pillars. Pillar 1 is a structured debrief, preferably in the first 72 hours, so travelers capture insights while they're still fresh. Pillar 2 is a 6-month coaching cohort that translates those insights into concrete next steps: course choices, internships, generous budgeting, deeper prayer rhythms. Pillar 3 is an ongoing 2-way partnership: regular video calls, shared Google Docs, maybe a return visit. Without that follow-through, most of the spiritual momentum drains away by week 6. With it, the original trip becomes a launch pad for vocational clarity, lifelong generosity, and durable friendships that model the gospel's mutuality. Question 3. I'm 20, busy, and broke. Is 1 week really enough to shape my calling? Answer: only if you treat that week as the first chapter, not the whole novel. Obedience is like strength training. You can't bench press 300 pounds until you've faithfully lifted 100. If God is nudging you toward a short assignment, that assignment is enough for now. Let it disrupt your assumptions. Let it introduce you to mentors from another culture. Then steward what you learned for an entire year. Schedule monthly mentoring calls. Pick 1 class, 1 podcast, and 1 project that apply the trip's lessons to your hometown. By the end of 12 months, you'll look back and realize the 7-day plunge turned into 365 days of transformation. Question 4. Gen Z grew up with Wi-Fi and AI. How does that reshape missions? Answer: Gen Z contributes 3 superpowers and 1 serious vulnerability. Superpower 1 is digital fluency. They crowdsource solutions at warp speed. Superpower 2 is global networking. A Kenyan designer and an Alabama coder can prototype together in real time. Superpower 3 is authenticity radar. They sniff out tokenism in seconds and hunger for genuine partnership. The vulnerability is a wisdom gap. Unlimited information without commensurate character can be dangerous. The remedy is 2-way mentoring. Veteran leaders lend hard-won discernment. Gen Z lends technological agility and cultural intel. That exchange mirrors the equitable relationships we want between the West and the global South. When both generations defer to the Spirit and to one another, the resulting collaboration is far stronger than either could achieve alone. Question 5. Tell me one day you saw God move powerfully, and one day he moved quietly. Answer: let's start with the headline moment. At 19, a stranger prophesied that I would preach to thousands worldwide. 9 years later, I found myself in an Ecuadorian stadium, toddler on my hip, proclaiming Christ to a sea of faces. God had kept an outrageous promise. Now the quieter story. Most days he meets me in a strategy session. Whiteboard markers squeaking while we wrestle with data. Suddenly a spirit-breathed idea surfaces, and a national church sees how to disciple teenagers more effectively. The fruit grows on their trees, but heaven's joy is the same. Grand stage or small conference room, the common denominator is obedience. We show up, God multiplies. Question 6. Why is it so important to say yes today instead of waiting for a better season? Answer. C.S. Lewis said, "All moments are present now. The only time we actually possess is today. Delay dulls our hearing. Practiced obedience sharpens it. Maybe God is prompting you to change your major, accept a low-pay but high-kingdom internship, or finish that language app lesson tonight. Small, timely yeses build the muscles for larger assignments. And here's the kicker. You never know which tiny act of obedience will ripple into someone else's miracle. So the best day to realign your life is today." Rapid-fire takeaways. 5 bullets you can implement before midnight. First, choose trips that plug into multi-year, host-led projects. Second, treat listening as ministry. Ask as many questions as you answer. Third, schedule a coach debrief within 72 hours of returning. Fourth, pair yourself with a mentor 2 decades older and a peer 2 time zones away. Let both sharpen you. Fifth, act on one conviction today. Send the email, register for the class, or set up the giving account before the urgency fades. Short-term missions are not tourism with a halo. Done wisely, they are launch pads for lifelong, mutually transformative partnerships that reveal Jesus in every vocation and every culture. My challenge is simple. Identify your next faithful step and take it before the day ends. If this conversation helped, share it with a teammate and send us your questions. Dr. Causey and the rest of us avatars are listening. Keep saying yes one step at a time, because the world and the kingdom both move at the speed of your next act of obedience.